And we're live. Hello, friends. This is the first live office hours of 2023, which is exciting. So one thing that I will note as kind of the elephant in the room is my camera is different from normal. And I got the new Facecam Pro from Elgato. It's really cool because it's 4K 60 FPS. So it supposedly is better. Before I was using a Sony mirrorless A series camera that was really awesome. But I also get the I don't know, the colors look kind of funny, so I'm still working that out. Anyway, office hours, if you've never participated in office hours before, is your opportunity to ask me questions, whatever you want to, for an hour. And it used to be Fridays. I'm moving to Thursdays. You can find my live schedule on my website at /live. Yeah, Fridays there always seemed to be something that was going on Friday that would make it hard for me to do office hours. So switching to Thursdays, I think that will be better. So with that said, you are welcome to join the Zoom call if you want to, and I give priority to people who are in the Zoom call. But if you don't want to, for some reason or another, I don't know why this isn't started yet. Starting in 3 minutes. How about we start right now? Start. Yeah, my bot created that automatically, and normally it should start right away, but yeah, so if you don't want to come into the Zoom call or you want to ask a question during the week or something, you just stick it in this office hours channel on Discord, and I will go through these. And I think I've only got one or two, so this may be a very brief office hours. So unless somebody jumps in here and starts asking questions, which does happen from time to time. Okay. Yeah, so that was one thing. And yeah, actually, you know what? We don't have any questions for office hours today, which is actually also fine. I'm not offended or sad. So I will hang out for just a few minutes to see if anybody wants to ask any questions. But if not, this also might be because people put office hours on their schedule on Fridays. And yeah, we don't have people ready to ask questions. And we'll wait a second for this to load. Maybe somebody's asking questions in the YouTube chat, which you should not. There's a link in the description of the video. Oh, just kidding. There's not. But if you go to kcd.im/office hours, then there will be a link in there to everything. And you know what? I can edit this right now. Can I build something? How can I build something like Versel? Well, I'm going to stick a link in here so you can go over to ask this question in there, but I'll go ahead and answer that question here in just a moment. I'm going to add join or more info here. Boom. There we go. Okay. And yeah, so how can you build something like, I'm not going to look at this anymore. So if you're on here, don't look at that. I'm not looking at that. I'm throwing it away because in no time at all, some bots are going to come in there and start sharing a bunch of links, and I just don't have time for that. Okay, so how would you build something like Versel? Oh yeah, here's my logged in thing. I yeah, clearly have not done anything on Versel in an exceedingly long time myself. But yeah, let's look at their homepage. So Versel, if I were to build something like Versel, well, so it's a serverless platform built on top of Cloudflare workers for their edge functions and AWS Lambda for their regular product. And then of course they probably have a bunch of other services to support their other services they offer. So, I mean, you could, as far as how would you do it? I don't know, probably start by making a CLI that makes it really easy to deploy something to one of those platforms, you want to iterate to the final solution. So you'd probably require them to sign up for an account on that platform, and then you're not going to make any money yet. You build a CLI that makes it really easy to deploy, kind of like what Architect does, actually. And then eventually you put your own face in front of that service. So people set up an account on your platform, and then you automatically create the serverless functions and whatever else on those platforms. I don't know. There's a reason why when I was at Remix, we really didn't want to build a hosting service. That was one of the ideas for becoming profitable, was to build a hosting platform, and none of us wanted to do it. So I was pretty confident that wouldn't actually happen, because it just does not sound like it's not fun to me. It doesn't seem like a very interesting problem. So hopefully that sort of answers your question, or doesn't answer it at all. But yeah, there you go. Okay. I am seeing somebody chatting a question. What do I think about GPT? What's up, Salem? Whoops. Yeah, so Chat GPT is interesting. I use it. If you watch my streams, you'll see I pull it up a couple times per stream normally, to just kind of help me think through a problem. It very often is wrong about stuff. I expect that to improve, and it will get more right about more things over time. I've been very impressed with what it can do. But often I use it to help me generate ideas on how to solve problems. There was one problem I kept on going back to it with, that was, what was it? Yeah, so I have this podcast app where it's not actually for podcasts. It's for, I have a directory of MP3 files of audiobooks, and I want to turn that directory into a podcast, and so that I can consume it through my podcast app rather than using Audible or something like that. It's actually pretty cool, and I should probably open source it. I have a previous version that I did open source. It's called Podcastifier, and it works fine. The new version I worked on, it uses Remix, and it's better in every way. It has more features and stuff. Supports video and stuff too, which is pretty cool. Anyway, what was I? Yeah, ChatGPT. So one problem that I had was sorting things properly. Most podcast apps will sort by the publish date. Pub date is what it's called in the XML. And so for some of these MP3s, there was no metadata in them to decide, okay, what was the published date? And so I would just, I think that field is required. And so I would just set it to 1900, January 1st, 1900. And that worked fine. It functioned, but the problem was that the order would be all wrong. And so what I wanted to do was make sure that they were, the published date, if it didn't exist, was 1900 plus a certain number of milliseconds relative to where it would be sorted if it appeared in a list of strings. So I wanted, but I didn't have other strings to compare it to, because I was just looking at a single one. And I wanted to do the file name, so it would have the same sorting as the file name. And so I said, hey, ChatGPT, can you make me a function that will give a string a score such that all other strings will have a score that puts them in same relative position as if they had been sorted. So I can just get a score from this and not have to reference anything else. And I worked through that for a while. It started with the idea of using ASCII, the ASCII number, the character code. And I was going through that, and then I realized, oh, shoot, the ASCII code is not anywhere close to the way that things are going to be sorted, because a capital A and a lowercase a are totally different numbers far away from each other, but they're not as far as alphabetization, they should be right next to each other on that scale. Like I think a lowercase b is a lower number than an uppercase A, and that's wrong as far as alphabetization is concerned. So that didn't work, but I kept going for it. And then eventually I discovered that, or realized that, and I said, hey, this is not going to work. What do you say about that? And they're like, oh yeah, you're right, it's not going to work. And then it just proceeded to try and do that anyway. So ChatGPT is not perfect, but it sure is good at helping me come up with ideas and thinking through things, especially for stuff that I'm very unfamiliar with. Like if I don't know SQL very well, I don't know SQL very well. I used to. I was a business intelligence engineer for a summer. I was really good at SQL. Well, I was like pretty good with SQL. Not as good anymore. I don't want to be. So yeah, for languages where you don't know the syntax, but you know sort of what you want to do, helps a lot. But I have yet to copy paste something verbatim from ChatGPT. I do expect that eventually you can, especially for simple things. But I mean, you could for simple things like if we go to ChatGPT right now and say, write me a function that or that capitalizes every word in a string in JavaScript or TypeScript. This I'm pretty sure we'll be able to copy paste and just use if their demand can handle it. Here we go. Capitalize. Yeah, that seems perfectly fine. There you go. So yeah, we could totally, I'm not sure they're really struggling, I guess, but yeah, we could totally use that, copy paste that. So for simple things, it's really great. And when you're in a language or an environment that you're not familiar with, most of the things you're going to struggle with are simple. And so it's really helpful for stuff like that. And it even explains things, and it's not always totally correct. But for simple things, it normally probably is. So anyway, I think ChatGPT, it definitely has a future, or AI in general has a future in our software development. And I 100% use AI in my coding with Copilot, GitHub Copilot. I love that thing. Use it all the time. Okay, great. Next question from Rambo. Wondering if I could get some quick feedback on a small project, file structure, how I'm managing state, React router, anything really. Thanks. Okay. Yes, I will give this feedback. Deployed to Versel. Whoa. Hey, that's fun. Cool. Add to cart. Now I got that. Add to cart. Cool. Nice. Check out. Cart is empty. Nice. Cool stuff. I see it's Vite. I'm guessing this is not server rendered. I'm guessing this is, here, we can find out that really quick. Yeah, so not server rendered. That's fine. Lots of apps are not. Oops, I just lost it. So probably React router, since you asked for that feedback specifically. So let's look at what's the difference between main and app. So first bit of feedback I would give you, learn TypeScript and use it. It's fantastic and absolutely worth the pain that does exist when you're using TypeScript. There is pain there, but yeah. Super fan of Tailwind. I love it. So that's great. You're using PNPM. I hear that's awesome. I hope you like it. Let's see here. I don't know anything about Vite, so I can't tell you, but it looks like it's pretty simple config, which is far cry from what we had with Webpack, that's for sure. Yeah, I got some WebPs in here. I don't think all browsers support WebP, so you might want to check into that. That'd be something to look at. Let's look at our app here. Using the latest version of React Router, good on you. React Router is fantastic. Yeah, you're putting all of your cart in here. Because this is a client-only app, that makes sense, but you might want to think about persistence so that when let's see, can I get that app back? Here we go. So if I go shop and add to cart and then refresh, well, that I can tell you what's causing this. It is your app is just deploying an index HTML with a bunch of static files, and it's not deploying anything to redirect this to your index HTML. So I'm sure a quick, yeah, maybe they even got a, no, don't want to do that. Okay, Versel redirect to index HTML. This is very, 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 very common. Yeah, it's going to be redirects. I think you're going to just do like, you know what, the Bookshelf app has, uses the serve module, which I think uses the same config for redirects. Let me see if I can find it. Serve JSON. Yeah, so I'm pretty sure what you're going to want is something like source slash, oh, no, that's not it. Dang it. No, this is for something else. Forget that. I'm deploying this app to Netlify, and Netlify has this redirects thing. Basically, what you need is something that says slash everything. So anything that doesn't match, I want you to send to the slash index HTML with a 200 status code. So you need something like that. And Versel totally has that 100%. Anyway, so if I come back here and I go shop and then I add to cart and then I go back home and then hit refresh, my cart's gone. So that's a long way to say you probably want some sort of mechanism for persistence, whether that be local storage or an actual database or like a connection with Shopify or something like that, if you're going to make this a real thing. This add to cart and remove from cart seems more complicated than I would expect. So I'm just looking at it here really quick. Yeah, I think you could make these more terse. Yeah, it's probably fine, but if I were to rewrite this is probably not the feedback you're looking for. I don't know. But if I were to rewrite this, let's see, language, JavaScript, or type. Yeah, here we go. I would say set cart, old cart, new cart. And, oh, I see. So you're just saying if it, fine. Yeah, that's interesting. I would write this differently, but I don't want to take the time to figure out how I write it. Maybe it's fine. It's probably fine. Okay, but that's probably not the type of feedback that you're looking for. So let's look at your various route module, or yeah, the routes that you've got. So if we look at routes, home, pretty simple. Yep, it's pretty cool looking. That image is just pretty epic. Let's look at our product or shop. We've got our products. That is hard-coded. So the next thing that I would suggest is figuring out how you could make some sort of API that it can fetch to, and then this product shop page, instead of importing the product, it makes a request to that API. Benefit of that is if you want to add new products, you don't have to rebuild the whole site and deploy it to add new products. The other thing is, if this product site were to grow really big, like an Amazon size thing, then what you have now is all of the users download all of the products, even if the ones they don't look at, and not only all the like product individual cards, but also the entire details of every product, even if they don't go there. So putting that behind an API would be necessary for anything of any amount of seriousness. So that would be a really good thing, even if this is just for learning, which I presume it is. That would be a really good thing to do next. Here I'm seeing lots of reliance on the Tailwind just-in-time compiler. I probably would avoid doing that if possible. I didn't see anything super complicated in what you're doing that seems to justify that. I can see you're probably trying to make it so that you get this responsiveness, but I think that you could manage that without doing this. So might look at that. Yeah, product info. Again, you're pulling things from products and just finding the product. Now this one, I'm surprised that even works. Huh. Yeah, that's kind of funny. Yeah, delete this use callback. That is not doing what you think it is. I've never seen anything like that before. TypeScript would help you avoid this mistake. But what you're doing here is you're passing an object to use callback and then destructuring the value. That is so interesting that works at all. Yeah, huh. Delete this and this. For one, that's actually not needed at all. In this case, you possibly would use a use memo here, but even use memo would be, and then whatever with a dependency array. Yeah, that is so interesting that works. Huh. Yeah. The other thing is it's not gonna do you any good anyway. This is not a performance bottleneck of any kind. So there's probably no instance in your app that needs use memo or use callback for performance reasons. There might be, I haven't seen the whole app, but there might be a use case for stable identity purposes, but not for performance reasons. No way. So I'm going to actually share with you a blog post about this. Use callback. Whoops. Pretty sure that takes you to the right blog post. Yeah. So read that blog post, delete that, and probably if you've got anything else like that. That blows my mind that this actually works. It makes sense, but it's like really kind of funny that it works. But yeah, you can get rid of that. So you've got use cart context. Yeah, add to cart. Yep. That makes sense. That's totally fine. I wish that I could like, this is pretty cool and all, but I would really like to be able to click on that and have it go. Can I like option click that? No, that's too bad. Yeah, so you've got your cart context here. And then your app is what creates that context value and all that. Yeah. Yeah, this is all fine. I'm not sure that you want set cart in there. That seems unusual. I'm guessing you're using set cart to clear the cart on the cart page. That's my guess. It's probably what's happening. Yeah, right there. That's fine. I personally like making little helper functions and reducing the amount of exposure my context has to the consumers, but that's probably fine. Yeah, you can press dot if you want to open it in VS Code Web. Yeah, that's I should probably just do that. But I think we've gotten through most of this. Yeah, the next thing I would do, I would get rid of any unnecessary use callback, use effect, or use memo. And let me think. I mean, I think I click on this again and that doesn't happen. I might, like, as this is a product opinion, but I might have some sort of indication that this is already in your cart and a quantity thing that you can increase and decrease the quantity. Man, that's such an epic. I don't play League of Legends, but like some video game pictures are so epic. It looks so cool. Oh, that's interesting. So every time I clicked on this product, it actually added it to the quantity. So I would just put the quantity counter right there. That's a product thing. I would also make clicking on this take me to that page. Yeah, hopefully that all helps. And yeah, good luck. That's cool. Okay. Oh, and I think I had that when I was messing around and forgot to take it out. Yeah, cool. Okay. Shubham, I'm not sure if I'm saying your name right. I apologize if I'm wrong. Can we have a course like code like this? Can we have a course? What do you mean? This is a course. Oh, any update? So I am not in that world anymore. There certainly are changes I expect. That said, I do have a very, very, very highly downloaded Babel plugin that I haven't published changes to in 2 years. So there's probably not a lot changed, but yeah, still probably plenty changed. And I am not planning on doing any updates to that. It's just not my world, but it's still extremely relevant learning information there. And I don't know of anything else that will teach you ASTs better and faster than that. So where to start learning with React, PHP developer? I've got a great blog post for you. How to React. There's so many puns with React. But yeah, start there. Good luck. Welcome to the React world. All right, Nick, question from YouTube. Thank you. That's nice of you. What is the difference between React synthetic events and native event? Why event pooling is not used anymore? So I actually had a live stream, React event system Kent YouTube. It'll be probably this one. Yep. So I had a live stream with Sophie and Dan, and we went really deep. Like we were, sharing screen and everything on the event system in React and how it works. So something to take a look at. It has probably changed. I am unaware of the fact that event pooling is not used anymore. One of my few contributions to React Core was adding a warning around event pooling. So that would be sad if they removed that, because that was one of the few things I did. So yeah, anyway, I don't know the answer to that question. As far as like the difference, so the difference is it's just like an object that represents the native event. And I believe the reason they do that is to make it so that the native event can get garbage collected later, which is why the synthetic event has this persist is it persist event? I think a method on it where it says, hey, actually hang on to that event object. Because what can happen sometimes is you have your event, you have some sort of callback, and then you say event.target, and it's like, I don't have a target because that native event is gone. So that I believe that's the reason why synthetic events were created in the first place, was so that if native events could get garbage collected, because they're just like really huge. I'm not sure about event pooling getting ripped out. I don't know. So as far as whether that's necessary anymore, I actually don't think the synthetic event system is necessary personally, because most of the time you're going to allow, like, things are going to be able to get garbage collected anyway in most like idiomatic use cases. So yeah, I don't know. Yeah, hopefully that's helpful. Yep. Thank you. Perfect course. Thank you. Okay, that is it. So I am planning on live streaming more of Epic Web stuff. So feel free to join me on this channel in a little bit. I'm just gonna go take a little break, get a little, well, I was gonna say get a little water, but this thing is full. So, but yeah, I like to take a break between streams. So I'm gonna do that, and then we'll start up a stream for Epic Web. So thanks everybody. We'll see you next week on Thursdays now. And stop share.